In this episode, we are talking scales, body weight, composition, and all that shit. How fat are your nipples? Coming right up. I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about fat nips, but these are, you know what I'm saying?
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 620 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, gaincast, mancast, pumpcast, yolkcast, hairy chestcast, and coffeecast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps, and So what's up, fam? Welcome to episode 620, live on Facebook, live on Instagram. So say what's up, make sure the fam represents. So if you want to catch the Daily Swole, you want to catch the Swole every day, and you want to catch it at 12 noon Eastern time, because that's when you have to catch it, because that's when Papa Swoleo's here. You got to be here. And you got to say what's up, Facebook and Instagram at Swolenormous. And remember, you can always catch the HD episodes later on YouTube and also on Facebook. So what's going on, fam? And so let me say what's up to the podcast. Remember, all the episodes, episode 600, 605, 521, 196, every single episode is available on SoundCloud and iTunes. So if you want to catch up, like I always say, like I've been saying, when you're walking the dog, when you're training, when you're doing cardio, when you're washing dishes, put it on. Catch up to some old episodes. You will love it. SoundCloud and iTunes, Swolenormous, Daily Swole. You can catch all the episodes right there. So check it out. You're going to absolutely love it. So happy Tuesday, everyone. Episode 620. And we're talking body weight today. We're going to talk about some composition. We're going to talk about scales. We're going to talk about what you should be expecting, what you should be doing, and we'll take some questions about that. So if you look on the board, there's no question of the day. It just says your scale sucks. So on the board behind me, it just says your scale sucks. And it's true. Your scale sucks. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the benefits of a scale. You didn't expect that, did you? The benefits of a scale, why you might want to use a scale, some of the benefits of having a scale, what you can use a scale for. It makes a great place where you can put like a nice pot, with a plant on it. It makes it look very nice. You can take it apart and do some different things, very artistic, very Etsy-esque. So you can go on Instagram, one of those, do it yourself, and make these little, nice little shapes and ornaments with the scale. It's very cool, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about scales and what they can be used for. And let's first off, let's take some what ups from the fam. What's going on Instagram, Facebook? Let's wake the fuck up. Sandra Corpus, loving your music on SoundCloud. My music is Papa Swoleo Sings. Have you downloaded my new album, Papa Swoleo Sings? Carlo Cardinal, Way Swoleo, what's up? Melissa Porter, what's up, Swole fam? Darren, Nikki, I use mine as a cat bed. That's what I'm talking about. What up, Big Papa Swole, listening from Oregon. What's going on, Wesley? Daniel Tynes, Paul Hunt, we got the whole fam here. Keith Conrad, we just had a conversation. What's up, Keith? All right, so everyone's here. And we got Barat, Emilio, it's your boy. Emilio's back. That's good. Emilio's the official mascot of the Daily Swole. He's like, it's your boy. It's your boy. And Papa Swoleo is everyone's boy. I'm all ya boys. Let's see. Crystal, loving all the damn videos. Well, hell yeah. So thank you so much for joining. Love each and every one of you. Thanks for joining today. Let's talk about scales. Yesterday we were discussing, I forget even what we were discussing yesterday, but I mentioned that we're going to talk about weight loss. We're going to talk about body composition. And this is going to lead to a lot of great episodes and great content and great questions, of course, in the in the comments below on Facebook and Instagram. So if you have questions as we go through and something that you want me to take at the end of the show, make sure you put that down there. So let's talk about scales. Let's talk about body weight. And let's talk about all these things. Let's first off talk about vision and goals and why body weight is important. So I want to get the BMI out of the way, the body mass index. So float some hearts and drop a couple comments if you know what body mass index is. And that's essentially when you are dividing your body weight. Actually, it's kilograms divided by your height in meters squared or something like that. It doesn't really matter. You're using it's a method of determining whether or not you're obese, what your composition is, like if you're at a proper weight. So utilize your height and weight. And this is something that the military used for years just to, or your doctor. You ever go, when you go to your doctor, even if those of you that have children, when you say, oh, your son is in the 80th percentile for height, and they chart, you see like a general chart of your growth or, the average height of a child and where your child's, is at a certain age and so forth. So the body mass index is a way to gauge someone's general health, if you're overweight or not. And the problem with, BMI, right, Michael on Facebook, BMI equals a guesstimate. It is a guesstimate, but let me explain why it's a guesstimate, because a body mass index is literally that, it's mass. It's how much the earth is pulling you towards its core. So when you're looking at body mass index, it's not telling you body composition. It doesn't tell you how much muscle you have or how much fat you have. It just says how heavy are you and how tall are you. So for example, myself, I'm just under 6 feet, and I'm like maybe 195. I don't weigh myself. Let's just say, let's call it 200. Let's call it 200. If I'm 195, I'll be 200 after leg day today. You know what I'm saying? Papa Swole, right now I'm gaining. This is the only podcast. This is the only live cast. This is the only place where you are going to watch a human being grow live. So if you're listening, and that's why I always, that's why I always recommend the podcast, because you will never listen to another podcast where you can actually hear the person becoming more muscular as you listen. You could hear me grow on the podcast. Like if you listen really closely, it might sound like a little low hiss, but it's not static. It's actually my myofibrils just like crack, like it's like when you pour water on ice, it's kind of just fucking get yoked. So when you go to a doctor, okay, so the BMI, so if I'm 200, let's say I'm 200, let's say 5'11", 200, that's a good average, numbers there. I will be obese. I'll be very, very obese by BMI standards. However, if I am 10% body fat or 15% body fat, it's not going to show that. It's just going to show, okay, you're too heavy for your height. But if you take two people, one person, let's say I'm 5'11", 200, and I'm at 10% body fat, which is very, 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 very low. And then you have someone else who's 5'11", 200, and they're at 25% body fat. They're going to look fat. They're going to look overweight. They're going to look soft. They're going to look big. And that's just because of the composition. That person's 200 pounds is comprised more of body fat, and muscle weighs more than fat. Muscle weighs more than fat, so it's more dense. So you're going to have two people that look completely different that are at the same BMI. So right off the bat, you're like, all right, fuck, BMI is bullshit. All right, it's not a good measurement. It might be good for a general idea of an average person that's never worked out before, but we don't live in that world. So I mean, you got to be accurate. We really need more detail. So then you get into weighing yourself. And if you're at home and you're just weighing yourself, that's really only telling you the same thing that the BMI, the body mass index, is telling you. It's telling you how much mass is the earth trying to pull into its core on your body, right? How hard or how much is the earth pulling you into its core? So it doesn't give you anything but just mass. So for example, if you put a bucket of water or a small child, I want you to think about this. If you put a bucket of water or a small child on a scale, the scale is going to say 10 pounds. True or false, those of you that are watching live, is a bucket of water different than a small human being? A child, like a person, a Homo sapien. A 10-pound bucket of water or a 10-pound child. Those are two different things, but a scale will say 10 pounds. So right away, you are really seeing one dimension of all of this. You're seeing one dimension. You're getting only a fraction of the story. It's like any kind of war, any kind of conflict. You get into an argument with your friend, and then you go tell your friend about this, another friend about this argument to kind of like, vent. You're only telling one side of the story. So you're only getting one part of the story, not even one side, because there's more than one side when it comes to body fat or body composition. You're getting literally one dimension of the story. You're only getting a fraction of what the real detail is, of what's really going on. You're getting your weight. So if you see yourself as different than a bucket of water, then that's not gonna fly. Same thing with measurements. Even if you're doing measurements, measurements give you a little bit of a different aspect. Measurements will tell you whether or not you are, rounder or less round. If your arm is 15 inches or 14 inches, if your stomach is 40 inches or 35 inches. But it also doesn't tell you how much muscle you have. It doesn't tell you your body weight. It doesn't give you any other concept. So we get to what is generally agreed on as a better method of determining health and what is really going on with the body, and that's body fat composition. So that's what we're talking about. When you hear someone say, I'm 15% or I'm 35% or I'm 40% or I'm 30%, that means of their overall mass, how or what percentage of their body is comprised of fat and how much is comprised of lean tissue. Now, lean tissue is not just, that doesn't mean you're 70% muscle. That means you're 70% muscle, organs, water, bones. So it just means lean mass, and lean mass is considered all that. It's lean mass, like all those things that are not fat, and then you have fat. So then we have methods of these percentages. We have all these different methods. You have the calipers, you have these scales that you stand on, the little handheld things that you hold. So when I have these conversations with people and I get all these questions and I have you all commenting, you get a lot of numbers thrown around. There's some instances, and I posted something recently where in the comments, just having a conversation, there's nothing wrong with this, but it's just the misconception of what it is. Someone's saying, well, I'm just talking about, cutting down from 18% to like 12%. No big deal, just tweaking a few things. I'm like, bro, 6% is a fucking amazing amount of fat loss. So first off, there's a complete misconception over what body fat percentage is ideal and what your body fat percentage number should be. So there's so many people out there that are saying that they are 15%, that they're 13%. Oh, I just want to get down to around 10%, not realizing that's like competition levels. Like we are completely off the fucking reservation when it comes to what we think 10% body fat is and 15% body fat. We're way, way, way off when it comes to our understanding of this. And you can easily Google pictures, but it's a lot. We would be happy with a lot more than we think. So what is really a good method? Now, these bioelectrical impedance measurements are pretty much BMI. Let me explain. When you're holding one of these things, or when you're standing on one of these things and you're holding in your barefoot or whatever, and you're holding these little handles, it's sending an electrical impulse that has going from one sensor to another. That's based on the speed. It's getting more impedance from fat, from water, and the speed of that impulse going around, combined with your height, your weight, your age, and male, female, blah, 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 it's going to approximate your body fat. These are not exceptionally accurate because if you drink more water on a certain day, it's less accurate. I don't care if it's an in-body machine. They're not extremely accurate. They're not extremely accurate. They have to be calibrated properly. You have to be doing things a certain way. If you're wearing jewelry, it's going to throw off the electrical impulse. They're just not consistent. They're not consistent across the board. So what's the best way to measure body fat? And the best way that most of you don't know about, but this is in my ebook, The 7 Pillars of Swolenormous, is a DEXA scan. And a lot of you are probably thinking underwater weighing. And yes, but that's a kind of, underwater weighing is very, you're not going to find those easily. You need a lot of space. You need a big tank. You need someone who's very professional. It's like at a university. Underwater weighing is not the best way anymore to measure body fat with water displacement. The best way is a DEXA scan. And what a DEXA scan is a density. It's actually originally a bone density device where it will scan and determine whether or not you have osteoporosis, what your bone health is, this, that, and the other. It started to be more and more used to scan all the density and all the density of all the tissues in your body. So literally, it will scan your body. It will scan your body and will not only tell you what body fat percentage you have, it will show you on a readout where that body fat actually is, like literally where it is, organs, hips, arms. So that's the most accurate because fat has a different density than muscle, than water, than bones, than organs. And it can show you not only how much, but where it is. And honestly, they're not that expensive if you want the real results. If you want to go to your local gym and use the handheld thing, it's going to give you a number. Don't put any stock into it. It's not what you are. You could be 5% more or less. Just don't just ignore it, because I've done them before. I've tested it with jewelry on, with jewelry off. I've lost a lot of body fat and looked so much leaner, and it said the same number, because when you put your height and your weight in there, it's using BMI and then approximating with this impulse shit. It's BS. It's BS. So you might have to, like, this DEXA scan might be 70, 80, $100, and you can find it usually either at universities or spas. Health spas sometimes have them, but that's one of the best ways, if not the best way, to accurately measure body fat. So if you're interested, you can call around and look it up. You can Google it, but a lot of universities and a lot of those health spas have that. And you can go in and do like a body fat analysis, and they'll use one of those methods. So those are the better methods to do that. So in terms of your scale, and in terms of body fat percentage, we have to start getting off this idea that the number, that being a lower body fat percentage will make us satisfied, that losing 10 pounds will make us satisfied. It is a losing battle, and it's very, very dangerous. If you are depending your results and your progress and your satisfaction on a number, you're going to be dissatisfied. You're going to fall short. You're never going to be happy by losing 5 pounds, by losing 10 pounds. You think that you'll be happy once you get to 10 pounds lost or 50 pounds. That's not what's going to make you happy. So I'm telling you, when we come back to the vision, to what your overall vision is, and those of you that saw the Best Year Ever workshop that I did, so float some hearts and show some love if you caught the Best Year Ever workshop. It talked about vision. So you have your vision, your long term, what you want, your long term, and then you work backwards and make sure that you're doing things daily that will get you there. So if you're just thinking about, oh, I'm trying to get 10 pounds, like once I get to 10 pounds, I'll have it. That's not how this shit works. That's not how this shit works. You're going to lose 10 pounds and then it's going to be, well, now what? You might lose 10 pounds in 2 months and then what? Are you going to die in 2 months? No, you have like 40 or 50 years left of life. What are you going to do then? Like, what's the next goal? Just another number? That's why when people say, I want to lose weight, or when they say, I want to improve strength, that's why I always ask, well, why is strength so important? Because you're going to add 5 pounds to a bar. Then you're going to do 200, 210, 215, 230. It's like, it always goes like, when does it become satisfying? When does it become, that's what I achieved? It's not for everyone. Powerlifters might be endlessly inspired by that, but very few people will actually be satisfied. Or strength is really not what you want. You want aesthetics, you want muscle growth. So you're going at it the wrong way. So it's important for me that you all are understanding what your goal is, but not only that, but you're doing what it takes to get there. So often we have these discussions, and I have these discussions with you, where you want a certain output. You want like the end game, but then you're doing the wrong things. You want to build muscle, you want to be like lean and shredded, this and the other, but then you're doing like high, boot camps, or you're doing, aerobics classes, and you're doing, just running around like a chicken with its head cut off, doing like, workouts of the day and shit. Like, that's not going to get you to your goal. That's random stuff. You're going to be exhausted in the short term. You might see some short-term progress, but that's not a tactical approach, a systemic approach to your goal. That's not systematic. That's not going to get you where you want to go. It feels like it's short-term because you're exhausted, you're tired. Well, you could be exhausted mowing the lawn. That's not going to get you, a six-pack. That's not going to build muscle. That's not going to shed fat. So if I drag bricks over the golf course all day long, I'll be tired too, but it's not going to get me my results. Like, what do you want? And then what are you doing daily to get there? So, weighing yourself, measuring yourself, it's only healthy to lose about 1 to 2 pounds a week. So, those of you that are frustrated that you're not losing fast enough, that you're gauging by other people's progress around you, fuck everyone else. 1 to 2 pounds a week is amazing. So I have had some conversations where, oh, well, so-and-so lost 20 pounds and I've only lost, 10 pounds so far. I'm like, it's been like 2 months. You've lost more than a pound a week. That's amazing. That's awesome. Even if you're losing 3 ounces a week, you're still losing. Like, you have to follow your own journey. You have to follow your own path. So you are not going to be satisfied with a goal like I need to lose 10 pounds. You attach that's almost as bad as attaching your goal to a resolution. You need to focus and to generate your vision. That is what will stimulate that inspiration, that motivation, that daily, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this no matter what, that discipline. If you are only after hunting 10 pounds or a number, you will never be satisfied. It is not going to work for you. You're going to fall short. Even if you lose the 10 pounds, you are going to be miserable. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be satisfied, because what then? What then? So this endless pursuit of weight loss and body fat percentage, it is not a long-term approach. It seems like that's what the definition of fitness is. I guarantee you it is not. It's the wrong mental approach. You won't be happy. I'm telling you. I don't care who's telling you what. You will not be satisfied when you get to that number, because then you got to maintain it, or you want more, you want this, you want that. It will happen if you really work backwards from your vision. It will happen. You do the right things daily, you're going to get to that point, but you're going to get to that point as part of the whole package. So make sure that you understand what the process really is and what your scale is really telling you. Use it as a tool. Weigh yourself very infrequently. I actually don't even know what my body weight is. I haven't weighed myself in months because I don't care. But when you have your goal and your vision and you know what you want, then work backwards. But just make sure you're doing the right things and you're measuring. You're measuring the right concepts, the right pieces. You're measuring the right things as a portion or as a composite of your progress. If you're just going after one thing like that, like a number, you're tracking a number, you're missing the entire picture. You're way off. So if you're number hunting, you're in trouble. So make sure you either message me, hook into this community, because that's a major, major, major problem. So let me take some questions. Thank you for being patient. Great episode. Got a lot more stuff this week on the daily with all program design, adaptations, a lot of fire content coming this week. So let's see what we got here. Mike Studdle, tried growing a beard this winter. So great. Cut it back to my usual. Well, that's on topic. Let's see. Nathan Berry, I was just watching your counting reps video and I see this as going the same route. Don't limit yourself with numbers. That was the first episode. The first episode of the Daily Swole was counting gains. And I don't like counting reps. In certain instances, I like guidelines, but counting reps is the same thing. Don't limit yourself. Right. You're limiting growth. You're limiting your possibilities, but you're also looking at it the wrong way. It's not that losing weight is bad. Maybe you do need to lose body fat and lose body fat, as a whole and percentage. That's fine. But if you're going after that and you're chasing that, you have it twisted. You need to do the right things to get to your end vision, end goal, and that will be a part of the process. You will get that, but you need to look at it differently, because if you're chasing that number, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs like the stock market. There's going to be a lot of discouragement along the way, and it's just a pit. It's a pit. You're making it very, very challenging for yourself to see progress and be successful there. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Wesley, you're 100% right. I am 6'5", just weighed in at 228 pounds, and recently tested at 10% body fat according to the quote chart. I am 1 to 2 pounds away from being obese. Lift weights and look in the mirror, just like Dash has always said. Yeah, it's not accurate, man. It's gonna throw you off. Those charts are not accurate. What's in your kale drink? Kale, and sometimes I do put some like egg whites and some mango and pineapple and some fresh fruit and stuff in there. Blend it all up, and it's yummies. You got to make that kale taste good. I used to blend kale in just water, but it's just like, it's not worth it. This is my life we're talking about here. Not looking to be in pain. Yeah, Eric Dean, that's like asking someone which weighs more, 10 pounds of feathers or 10 pounds of gravel. Yeah, the same. Any questions on Instagram? Instagram is usually quiet. I weigh before and after I poo. Oh, that's actually a great comment. Before and after I poo. When you weigh yourself, if you're going to weigh yourself, you have to weigh yourself first thing in the morning on an empty stomach after you go to the bathroom. Don't weigh yourself. If you weigh yourself at 6 p.m., don't even bother. It's not worth it. It literally does not matter at all. You're not getting any valuable information. You wake up first thing in the morning, you go to the bathroom, number one, number two, pee, poop, and then you weigh yourself. Do not weigh yourself later on the day after you've drank water. It's completely inaccurate, and you're just literally wasting your time. So anyone I see at the gym that's weighing themselves at like 6 p.m., it's stupid. Literally, complete waste of time. Is caffeine good? Is it bad? I mean, caffeine's in coffee. As long as it's from natural sources, you're not pounding tons of caffeine. You drink 6 espressos a day. If you need to drink six espressos a day, it might be something where you need to think about why you need so much caffeine. You're exhausting your adrenals, and also maybe you're not getting enough sleep or you're not drinking enough water. The problem with coffee is that it's a diuretic, so you can get very, very dehydrated. So if you're drinking tea, you're going to get more hydrated rather than drinking coffee. It's going to flush out a lot of water. So if you're not drinking a lot of water in addition, Bang energy drink, I'm sure that's probably absolute fucking trash. I don't know the details of what's in it, but I'm sure any one of those like Monster Bang, yeah, it's all artificial crap. I don't care what they say. I don't care if they have hot girls that are holding it like Bang boomerangs on Instagram. Boomerang, I'm a Bang girl. Fuck you. Stop selling me sugar water, you assholes. One more question. Carlo Cardinal, I only lost when I was on 800 calories a day. As soon as I eat more, I put on. Well, 800 calories a day is like literally, that's like World War II concentration camp. Like 800 calories a day. Of course you lost when you're on 800 calories a day. You were literally starving yourself. That's dangerous. There's no need. If you're eating 800 calories a day, that's the only way you lost weight, then you were doing it wrong. You were eating inflammatory foods. You need to go back and cleanse and clean out your body and clean out your diet. There's no way any human being should be eating 800 calories a day unless you're trying to die. You can eat 800 calories a day, but you'll die. Water, how much per day? Upwards of a gallon, 3/4, 90 ounces. I mean, it depends on the climate, depends on your body weight. It depends on how often you're working out. Like in a humid climate like Florida, you want to drink more water, might need to more than, let's say, a very a different climate and how often you exercise and your body type, but more water is better than, more than 1.5 liters. If you're exercising regularly, you could drink, 2-3 liters, even more than that, depending on your exercise. All right. Fit T, bro. Yeah. Fit T. On that note, we'll leave. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for 620. Those of you that are in Swolenormous X, remember to check out the hips and twists yoga flow that was posted. Today's Tuesday. That was posted on Sunday. And tonight, Swolenormous X members releasing the next virtual training. It's going to be an awesome shoulder workout. So you all have an excellent virtual training coming tonight. And of course, another workshop, which will probably be another nutrition workshop on Thursday. So I'll talk more about that tomorrow. So those of you that are in Swolenormous X, stay tuned for the virtual training that's going to drop tonight. And make sure that you go and try the hips and twist yoga flow and leave a comment below the video and let me know what you thought of the hips and twist. Alex did a killer class. So make sure you check that out and stay tuned tonight for the new virtual training. Everyone else, if you're interested in hooking into the community, remember there's a link in my profile and Instagram, and also in the post description and on my page here on Facebook, swolenormousx.com. And for everyone, just so you know, make sure you turn on post notifications. So Instagram, the 3 dots at the top of my page, make sure you turn on post notifications. And on Facebook, especially, turn on notifications. Make sure you go and turn on notifications. Thank you, everyone, for joining live on Facebook, live on Instagram, and those of you that are listening to the podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. Peace, McGee's, Deuce Magoose, Papa Swolio, out.